Do you know that some of the most successful people in history were never really busy? They did less, but achieved more. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors of Rome, left behind a secret. But it wasn't about war or power. It was about how he managed himself. In this video, you will explore 6 Stoic principles that helped Marcus Aurelius maintain outstanding productivity in the most difficult times. How can you apply these secrets to your own life? Welcome to Wisdom Daily, where we explore philosophies that can change your life. Today, we'll dive into the deep lessons from one of the greatest Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, and learn how you can apply them to become more effective every day. 1. Managing emotions well. Have you ever felt like you can't control everything in your life? And sometimes, the constant challenges seem to pull you in every direction. You are not alone in feeling this way. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest emperors of Rome and one of the first Stoics, faced many challenges throughout his life. Wars, illness, the loss of loved ones, and even rebellions. But what made him different was the way he chose to face those difficulties. Marcus Aurelius taught us a very important lesson. We cannot control external events, but we can control our emotions and our reactions. Imagine if he had allowed his emotions to be ruled by the events around him. He would have never been able to lead the Roman Empire, let alone maintain his mental strength during the toughest times. This ability to manage his emotions helped him maintain a steady mind, allowing him to make wise and effective decisions. Emotions are something you can control. There are many factors we cannot control: other people's decisions, economic conditions, events that are beyond our reach. But one thing Marcus Aurelius emphasized is that we can absolutely control how we react to those challenges. Rather than letting emotions control him, he chose to remain calm and rational. And that's why he was able to continue working efficiently, even in stressful situations. To make this clearer, think about a stressful day at work. Perhaps you face a small issue, like a power outage, a tense meeting, or a difficult colleague. Negative emotions can easily take over in such situations. But if you are like Marcus Aurelius, you can control your emotions and not let them affect your productivity. Instead of reacting angrily or getting flustered, you choose to stay calm and continue with your tasks. This is what helps you maintain productivity without being distracted by negative emotions. Why managing emotions matters for productivity. Numerous studies have shown that emotions have a profound impact on our productivity. When we are in a negative emotional state, such as anxiety, anger, or frustration, our brains do not operate at peak efficiency. We are more easily distracted and tend to procrastinate. Negative emotions not only reduce the quality of our work, but they also cause stress, which negatively affects long-term health. A recent study on customer service employees showed that those in a bad mood, like being irritable or tired, often performed worse than those who were happy. They were more likely to overlook tasks, take longer breaks, and ultimately reduce their total working time. On the other hand, those in a good mood were not only more productive, but also produced higher quality work. How to manage your emotions. So, how can we control our emotions in such stressful situations? One effective method that Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics used is negative visualization. This technique helps us prepare mentally for the worst-case scenarios. For example, you can imagine that during an important meeting, everyone disagrees with you. You think about this beforehand, and instead of reacting with anger, you won't feel shocked or disappointed when it actually happens. You've already mentally prepared to handle it calmly and rationally. This technique helps you maintain emotional control, even in stressful situations. By preparing for these unfortunate situations, you can stay calm, not let emotions interfere with your work, and continue to work effectively. By now, you understand the importance of managing your emotions. Next, we will explore another principle that Marcus Aurelius applied to achieve outstanding productivity. Do less, but focus on the most important tasks. 2. Do less. When you look at your daily task list, have you ever felt like you're racing against time, yet still can't finish everything? Do you feel like the more you do, the less effective you become? Marcus Aurelius once said a simple yet profound statement: "If you seek tranquility, do less." And he pointed out that doing less, but doing the truly important things, is the path to sustainable success. Doing more but not effectively. In today's modern world, we seem to always be busy. We have a long list of tasks, from office work, meetings, to personal responsibilities. It seems that we always think to succeed, we have to do more, be constantly busy, and juggle multiple tasks at the same time. But the reality is quite the opposite. When we try to do too much, not only do we feel exhausted, but we also reduce our ability to focus and work efficiently. Doing too much makes us more distracted, easily overlooking important tasks, and ultimately leading to results that fall short of expectations. Marcus Aurelius understood this well, and that's why he advised us to be selective, only doing the things that truly matter and are necessary. The 80-20 principle: focus on the most important tasks. This is exactly why the 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle, is so important when it comes to managing work and time. This principle shows that 80% of the results we achieve come from just 20% of the effort. What this means is that, in any given workday, only a small fraction of tasks actually lead to significant results, while the majority of tasks only make us feel busy without having any substantial impact on our success. Think about what you do each day. Do you spend a lot of time on less important tasks like answering emails, attending unnecessary meetings, or simply solving small problems that don't add much value? How to apply the 80-20 principle in your life. So, how do you apply this principle to your life and work? First, you need to identify the most important tasks, the ones that bring the most significant results, helping you get closer to your goals. Then, focus the majority of your time and energy on these tasks. For example, at work, instead of trying to do everything at once, you can dedicate time to major projects that directly influence your work results, such as collaborating with important clients, completing strategic projects, or making key decisions. Smaller, less important tasks can be delegated to others or even skipped if they don't truly add value. Do less but with quality. The theory is simple, but in practice, it can be difficult. When you start focusing on important tasks, you'll realize that it's not always easy to let go of small tasks, because we have a tendency to want to complete everything. However, just like Marcus Aurelius, when you learn to do less but focus on the most important things, you will see a significant change in your productivity and work results. You will feel less stressed, less fatigued, and most importantly, you will achieve more. Remember, doing less does not mean being lazy. On the contrary, it means you are doing the things that truly matter without getting caught up in the cycle of unnecessary tasks. The only way to achieve optimal effectiveness in work and life is by learning to prioritize and carefully choose the right tasks. Now that you understand Marcus Aurelius's principle of doing less, next, we will dive into another principle he applied in his life and work: planning and strategy. 3. Planning and strategy. Have you ever started a large task and felt overwhelmed by the sheer amount of work ahead? This feeling is certainly familiar to many of us and is one of the main reasons we often procrastinate. Marcus Aurelius, with his Stoic wisdom, pointed out that having a clear strategy and a specific plan is a key factor in achieving goals, rather than just diving into work without knowing where you are going. A plan is the key to achieving your goals. If you think that simply working hard is enough, you might be making a big mistake. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us that, without a clear plan, work becomes vague and easy to procrastinate. And he was right. When we don't have a clear roadmap, work turns into a chaotic mess with no control. Instead of working purposefully, we are just getting things done without clarity on what the actual outcomes will be. Imagine you want to start an important project. If you only have a vague goal like complete the project without defining specific steps, you'll easily feel confused and not know where to start. This can lead to procrastination because you don't know where to begin. To avoid this, Marcus Aurelius advised us to break down big goals into smaller, manageable parts and approach them systematically. Why you need a clear strategy. To achieve your goals, you can't just dive into the work without a clear direction. A good strategy helps you see the big picture, understand the necessary steps to complete your work, and avoid feelings of confusion or being overwhelmed. Having a clear strategy will help you. Focus on the most important steps. When you know exactly what needs to be done, you will easily focus on the tasks that deliver the greatest results. Manage time effectively. A clear plan helps you allocate time efficiently to each part of the task. Minimize procrastination. When you know exactly what to do next, there will be no feeling of confusion or hesitation. Creating mini milestones. Small milestones to achieve goals more easily. One of the methods Marcus Aurelius applied in his life was breaking down large goals into smaller milestones, also known as mini milestones. Instead of focusing solely on the big goal and feeling overwhelmed, break it down into manageable and actionable parts. For example, when starting a project, instead of saying complete the project, you could break it down into milestones like 1. Step 1. Research and gather information for 2 days. 2. Step 2. Plan the project in detail for 1 day. 3. Step 3. Execute the first steps of the project in 3 days. By completing each mini milestone, you'll feel a noticeable sense of progress, which helps maintain motivation and reduces stress. This not only allows you to control your work better, but also lets you track your progress clearly. You'll no longer feel like the big task is an impossible challenge, but rather a series of simple and achievable steps. Strategy helps you focus on each step. Marcus Aurelius once shared a profound piece of advice. We cannot change the entire world, but we can change how we act within this world. It is strategy that helps you focus on what you can control and gradually build success in your own way. Each small step brings you closer to the final goal. When you have a strategy, you're not just following the work, you're in control of your own progress. You know when it's time to act and when it's time to rest. Strategy helps you maintain balance and prevents work from becoming overwhelming. Now that you understand the importance of planning and strategy, next, we will explore another principle Marcus Aurelius applied in his life: how he always started his day with the hardest task and how to avoid procrastination. 4. Start your day with the hardest task. Have you ever found yourself waking up in the morning, looking at your to-do list, and thinking, "This is too hard"? You procrastinate, come up with excuses to avoid the important task, and instead, you do the easier tasks that don't really give you any meaningful results. If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Most of us have encountered this situation, but Marcus Aurelius, with his Stoic wisdom, showed us a completely different approach to overcoming procrastination. Tackle the hardest task first thing in the morning. Marcus Aurelius advised that we should start our day with the hardest task, the one we often avoid. Why? The answer is simple. Morning is when we have the most energy. Our minds are sharp, our bodies are not yet fatigued, and our brains are still fresh. That's why morning is the best time to face the most challenging tasks. Think about this. When you start your day with an easy task, you feel like you are avoiding the real issue. Over time, this feeling accumulates, creating procrastination and stress. But if you tackle the biggest challenge first thing, you will feel a sense of satisfaction and confidence from the initial achievements. Furthermore, the difficult task will no longer feel as daunting once you've overcome it. Why morning is the golden time for important work? According to scientific studies, our energy and ability to focus decrease as the day progresses. Morning, especially right after waking up, is when our brains are working at their best. The level of cortisol, a hormone related to focus and energy, is at its highest in the morning, helping us face challenges and make important decisions. Research also shows that people who complete their hardest tasks in the morning not only accomplish more work, but also have a better mood throughout the day. This might be why the most successful individuals, like Marcus Aurelius, prioritize doing their hardest tasks early in the day. When you complete an important task in the morning, the feeling of accomplishment will provide a huge boost for the rest of the day. Strategy: do the important work first thing. So, how do you start your day with the hardest task? First, identify the tasks that are truly important and difficult, the ones that will bring the greatest results. You might notice that these tasks are often the ones we tend to avoid because they involve big issues or could lead to failure. But that's exactly why facing them in the morning helps you feel accomplished and in control. A simple strategy to implement this is to identify one obstacle task that you need to complete every morning. It could be writing an important report, making a call that you've been postponing, or starting a complex project. Set aside time right after waking up to get this task done before other distractions start pulling your attention away. The sense of accomplishment and boosted motivation. When you finish your hardest task early in the morning, you'll feel an immense sense of satisfaction. You've overcome procrastination and laziness, and that feeling will keep you motivated throughout the day. Instead of feeling guilty for not completing the hard task, you'll feel more confident, and every subsequent task will seem much easier. Imagine starting your day with a big success. You've completed an important task that you had been putting off for a while. It will feel like you've taken control of your entire day. This not only helps reduce procrastination, but also enables you to achieve more throughout the rest of your day. Conclusion: start your day with determination. Marcus Aurelius taught us that what stands in the way becomes the way. And starting your day with the hardest task is the way to overcome all obstacles, entering the workday with a refreshed mindset and full determination. When you face the hardest challenge first, you are not only mastering your tasks but also mastering your life. So, today, try applying this strategy to your life. Don't hesitate. Start every day with your most important task and see the difference it makes for you. 5. Respect your time. Have you ever felt like a whole day has passed quickly, and despite working all day, you didn't accomplish much? Have you ever looked back and thought about how you used your time and regretted wasting too much of it? This is something Marcus Aurelius was very clear about. Time is a precious resource that cannot be reclaimed, and he taught that we must manage our time as a valuable asset, or else we will waste our lives. Time is a precious resource. Time, just like money or any other resource, is limited. Every minute that passes is one we can never get back. And because of this, Marcus Aurelius warned us that if we don't know how to respect and manage time, we'll fall into a cycle of wastefulness, missing out on valuable opportunities. Think about it. You have 24 hours each day, but we cannot create any extra hours. The feeling of having too much to do but not enough time is something we've all experienced. However, if you don't manage your time wisely, you'll feel like those hours are wasted, consumed by tasks that don't truly matter. Time is a limited resource and cannot be recovered. One of the reasons Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of respecting time is because it cannot be recovered. You can earn more money, find new opportunities, but lost time is gone forever. Each day, each hour you spend on tasks that don't matter is an hour you lose to do something more meaningful, to grow, or to achieve bigger goals. This may sound serious, but it's the truth. If you don't spend time on what's important, you'll quickly realize that you've wasted too much time on things that don't create long-term value. This will affect your work efficiency and even your mental health. Managing time for greater productivity. One of the best ways to use time effectively is to plan and organize your tasks properly. Marcus Aurelius always began his day with a clear plan, setting time aside for the most important tasks first, and avoiding things that could waste time. He understood that once time passes, we can never get it back, so using every minute purposefully is extremely important. Ideally, create a detailed schedule for each day, prioritizing the most important tasks that have a significant impact on your long-term goals. Less important tasks can be handled later, but don't let them take up too much time in your schedule. Managing time doesn't mean working non-stop. It means knowing how to choose what's worth spending time on. For example, during a work week, you might notice that some days you don't get much done, wasting time on unnecessary calls or scrolling through social media. Instead, if you spent that time planning important projects, you would have a clear goal for each day, improving productivity and feeling more satisfied. Wasting time is wasting life. There is a famous saying, "Wasting time is wasting life." And this is the message Marcus Aurelius wants to remind us of. Every minute that passes, you can do something meaningful. Instead of letting time slip away in vain, start being consciously aware of the value of each moment. An easy way to practice this is to spend a few minutes each day asking yourself, what did I do today to get closer to my goals? If the answer is something that didn't matter, reconsider how you're using your time. By doing this, you will not only use time more effectively, but also achieve greater success in life. So, now we understand the importance of respecting time and how Marcus Aurelius used time as a precious asset. Next, we will explore another Stoic principle, enjoying progress. How to maintain motivation and feel satisfied with the small steps we take along the way. 6. Enjoying progress. We are often taught that success is a destination, a final result that we must achieve. Competitions, awards, and even societal expectations set a model of success with clear, measurable outcomes. However, Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, had a completely different view on success. He emphasized that success is not only about the final result, but also about the process of effort, step by step. Success is not just the destination. For many people, success can only be measured when we achieve a big goal, a result that can be seen and proven. But Marcus Aurelius taught us that progress is more important than the result. This means that success is not just about achieving something grand, but about consistently working, striving, and growing every day. Long-term success comes from maintaining continuous effort, even when the results may not be immediate. You may not see results right away, but every small step forward is part of the process of building success. In reality, many people only see the external success, but they don't realize that those who are truly successful have gone through countless efforts, failures, and challenges before achieving their final goals. Sustaining continuous effort is the key. Marcus Aurelius understood that in life, we can't always see immediate results from our actions. However, he advised that every day we must persevere with the tasks we've started, even if the results may not come right away. He also believed that recognizing and being content with our progress is an important part of maintaining long-term motivation. For example, imagine you've started a fitness regimen. Every morning, you wake up early, focus on your exercises, and although the results may not be clear at first, you can feel your body becoming stronger and more flexible each day. Recognizing and appreciating these small advances will help you keep your motivation and not give up, even when you haven't reached your big goal yet. Don't measure success by the final outcome. A common mistake many people make is measuring success only by the final outcome. But in reality, the effort and process you go through are the real achievements. Every step, every lesson learned from failure or difficulty holds value. For example, if you're pursuing a big project and face a failure, don't focus too much on the fact that you haven't reached the goal. Look at what you've learned, the skills you've improved, and the persistence you've shown throughout the process. It's this perseverance and the process of working step by step that actually create long-term success. Enjoying progress every day. The important thing is not just working, but also enjoying the process of that work. Don't let worries about the final outcome take away your joy in the actions. Be proud of even the smallest steps forward, because they are the building blocks of success. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Success is not what you achieve, but how you work to achieve it." Enjoying progress is the way to keep moving forward, maintaining motivation, and continuously growing. So, let every day be a small step on a long road. Don't let yourself feel disappointed just because the final result hasn't arrived yet. Instead, focus on doing your best every day and reward yourself for the ongoing efforts. Now that you understand that success is not just the destination but the journey, next, we will explore another Stoic principle Marcus Aurelius applied in his life. Respecting time, how we can use time wisely and effectively to achieve our goals. So, through the Stoic principles from Marcus Aurelius, we've uncovered key secrets to boosting productivity and living a more meaningful life. To achieve high performance, first, you need to learn how to manage your emotions, control your reactions to challenges rather than letting emotions control you. Next, remember that doing less but doing important tasks will help you achieve better results instead of being caught up in a whirlwind of unimportant work. A clear strategy and systematic approach to work are essential, and don't forget to start your day with the hardest tasks to stay motivated throughout the day. Finally, respect your time, a precious resource that we cannot get back. Managing time effectively is the key to achieving outstanding productivity and long-term success. Marcus Aurelius taught us that we don't always have to wait for the final result to feel successful. The effort, perseverance, and every step forward are what truly matter. So, how will you apply these Stoic principles in your life? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found the lessons from Marcus Aurelius helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow Wisdom Daily to explore more Stoic philosophies that can change your life. Success doesn't just come from the end point, but from the journey every day. Start that journey today. And remember, every small step you take is part of a much greater success.